On the broadcast tonight, we look at how the university has been celebrating Diversity Week so far.
And we have details on the recent police incident that occurred in McLean Hall.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News.
Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Lindsay Smith.
And I'm Priscilla Schultz. Each year, the Office of Inclusion, Belonging, and Equity at Shippensburg University celebrates Diversity Week. Here with the recap of the week is SUTV's Carson Devitt.
Diversity Week officially kicked off this past Monday and will continue until tomorrow, Friday the 29th. The first day of Diversity Week began Monday with the acting dean of the College of Education, Dr. Jose Ricardo Osorio. He taught students how to salsa dance in the Cub. Here's what it means to him to have an event like this during Diversity Week.
Actually, it means a lot because through music and activities like this, we connect anyone with culture. And the best way to connect people with culture is through music and through food. Who's going to argue against music?
Monday night concluded with student organizations in the Center for Global Education hosting an all-around-the-world event. During this event, student groups had displays set up with decorations, information boards, and items that display their culture. There was also some students who shared their culture through the playing of games and their favorite music. Here's why Career Ambassador Khalil Hauser feels this diversity event is important.
I think this event is important because SHIP is a very diverse campus, even though you might not see it right away, but there is a lot of cultures that come to SHIP. It's important that we capture them as well.
The celebrations continued Tuesday with this year's keynote speaker, Wawa Gatheru, a Kenyan-American climate storyteller. She spoke in the Lurs Performing Arts Center on climate optimism and inclusivity. On Wednesday, there were two events to continue celebrating Diversity Week. First, in the Orndorff Theater at noon, a student panel spoke and answered questions regarding disability, ableism, and inclusion. And finally, on Wednesday, to conclude the third day of Diversity Week, a film titled Black Hair Matters was played in the Cub NPR with a discussion held at the end. Earlier today, Shippensburg's Career Center and Dr. Manny Ruiz spoke on DEI in the workplace. Then at 5 o'clock, Dr. Allison Agnes held a political speed dating event. And finally, happening right now is a drag show performance in the Cub NPRC featuring Betty Whitecastle. If you missed any of these events, don't worry, because tomorrow, to conclude Diversity Week, the reveal of the annual Quilt to Cover Us All will happen at 3 o'clock in Gilbert Hall, followed by a food truck festival in front of the Old Main Fountain. For the full list of events and further details, you can visit ship.edu/diversityweek. With SUTV News, I'm Carson Devitt.
Calling all Halloween lovers, Shippensburg is hosting its 2023 Tricks No Treat event. This October 23rd, Shippensburg will be hosting its annual Treats No Tricks event. This event brings together members of the Shippensburg community for a night of safe Halloween fun directed for local kids. Fun things include fun activity kits and, of course, treat bags. If you or your campus group are interested in volunteering for their fun event, please register on campus groups under the Office of Community Engagement. For any questions, please contact the Office of Community Engagement. This event will take place in the Old Main Lawn at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or the hockey rink if it's raining.
Hot Point Inn may be gone, but that has made way for the new Creekside Grill. Here with a preview of what to expect with the new establishment is SUTV's Jeremy Perna.
Out with the old and in with the new. The Creekside Grill is now open for business after its acquisition by Hotel Shippensburg. The new grill, formerly the Hot Point Inn, after 30 successful years, has a lot of new features to bring to the table. The newly renamed Creekside still features a myriad of popular different brews, including Michelob Ultra and Miller Lite, complemented by a diverse selection of hard beverages. The new menu consists of delicious, affordable snacks such as chicken wings, hot dogs, and burgers. For those who are sports fans and enjoy game day gatherings, 25 new flat-screen TVs are available for guests to cheer for their favorite team. New pinball and slot machines were added for anyone who likes old-school arcade games. Since new ownership comes a new chapter, we've caught up with a new manager, Cody, to go into detail about the plans for the future.
Well, we want to grow. We want to grow in a bunch of different ways. Right now, we're just at a starting point, baseline, trying to get people through the door, and eventually we're going to have some bands. We want to put DJs in here and just have some really cool events in the future. We want to bring back mechanical bowls. You know, I'm possibly going to be running some cornhole boards here soon and have a cornhole tournament because we got a lot of room in there.
You could go on the Grill's Facebook page for any information regarding new events or happenings at the bar. With SUTV News, this is Jeremy Perna.
And now an update on the police incident that occurred in McLean Hall early this month. According to an affidavit obtained by SUTV, 20-year-old Veron Tamir Henson of Shippensburg was one of the 20 to 30 individuals involved in a large fight that broke out near the residence hall. Henson was removed from the scene by state police. However, Henson struggled with the officer, causing the two to fall over and resulted in the trooper sustaining a broken leg in the process. Henson was released on $30,000 bail from Cumberland County Prison, and his arraignment is set for November 6th. Coming up next, what we know so far about a student found dead in a parking garage at Millersville University.
And the details on the race inside Congress to prevent an impending government shutdown. We'll have more after these brief messages. Police are investigating the death of a Millersville student whose body was found in a vehicle in a campus parking garage. According to PennLive.com, the body was identified as 18-year-old Thea Cassidy, who was attending the university as a first-year student. Cassidy was pronounced dead at the scene on Friday, September 21st. Police revealed that an investigation of the scene showed no suspicious circumstances relating to Cassidy's death. The cause and manner of death have yet to be determined. A family has filed a lawsuit against the University of Alabama for an injury their son sustained from a hazing incident in 2021. The student was not identified in the suit, but is being filed against the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity. The suit claims the student, who was a minor at the time, was repeatedly punched, sprayed with a hose, told to yell racial slurs, and hit in the head with a basketball, which led to a traumatic brain injury and loss of consciousness. The fraternity and those associated are being accused of fraud, negligence, and assault and battery. A statement from the fraternity's service center said, quote, "Members who engage in these activities will be held accountable to the fullest extent," end quote.
Earlier this week, NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft dropped asteroid samples in Utah for the first time during its 7-year mission, traveling 4 billion miles into space. The asteroid samples are expected to be over 4 billion years old and is currently being opened in a specially designed lab at the NASA Houston Center. The samples were collected 3 years ago from the asteroid Bennu. The container had closure issues, but scientists estimate there to be at least a cup of carbon-rich rubble. The data found from this sample is anticipated to assist in asteroid deflection efforts in the future. As for now, OSIRIS-REx is now flying toward the asteroid Apophis, estimated to arrive in 2029. We are 3 days away from a potential government shutdown which has citizens on edge. A government shutdown looms over the United States as the federal budget is due. This potential shutdown will be enacted this Sunday if the House cannot come to an agreement on the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. According to McCarthy, there are roughly 20 Republicans in the House who are hoping for a shutdown as a way of leverage against the Democrats. Last year, another potential shutdown was almost enacted but was narrowly avoided. If a shutdown occurs, many government employees will be furloughed and will be held from pay. Workers seen as essential to keeping the government running smoothly, as well as ensuring citizens' safety.
Up next, the biggest drug bust in Ireland's history has just been made.
And a British museum is calling on citizens to help locate thousands of stolen artifacts. Stay with us after the break.
What's going on around campus this week? Anna Garman tells us all in this week's Slate Preview.
Coming up this week in the Slate, the news section will inform us on the MSA's A Quilt to Cover Us All reveal. Our A&E section will feature Black Hair Matters film and discussion and a review of The Golden Bachelor. The Ship Life section will be featuring a discussion of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace and a presentation of disability, diversity, ableism, and inclusion. Our sports section will be covering the football, volleyball, field hockey, men's and women's soccer games. Our opinion section will have an article on the Second Republican debate. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at ShipUSlate, and be sure to pick up the next edition of The Slate Tuesday in newsstands or read anytime on theslateonline.com.
A U.S. soldier held captive in North Korea is set to return home.
Here to tell us more about it is SUTV's Michael Salvatore. Michael?
In Ireland, authorities have announced the largest ever drug seizure in the country's history. The police say it included more than 2,200 kilograms of cocaine, worth about $165 million. The drugs were seized from a vessel from South America, recovered off the coast of Cork Tuesday. Garda investigators believe the narcotics were bound for crime groups in Ireland, the UK, and Europe. 3 men have been taken into custody for questioning. 2 U.S. officials say a U.S. Army private who crossed the border into North Korea is back in U.S. custody. This comes after North Korean state media reported that the state had decided to expel Travis King. In July, he had walked into the country from South Korea during a tour of the Joint Security Area. North Korea had said he was seeking refuge from the U.S. according to state media. King, quote, confessed that he illegally intruded into the territory of the DPRK as he harbored ill feeling against inhumane maltreatment and racial discrimination within the U.S. Army and was disillusioned by the unequal U.S. society, unquote. The British Museum is asking for the public's help in recovering around 2,000 stolen artifacts. Officials have started a hotline for people who may think they may have some of the missing items. George Osborne, the chair of the British Museum, announced the thefts after it was discovered some of the objects were reportedly being sold online. According to the museum, 60 artifacts have been returned and a few hundred others are expected to be brought back soon. The museum says most of the missing items are Greek and Roman gems and jewelry. London's Metropolitan Police are heading an investigation into the matter. That'll do it for this week's World News. I'm Michael Salvatore. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
Coming up in entertainment, the writer's strike is officially over.
And this year's halftime show has been revealed when SUTV returns.
I'm so glad that that long stretch of rain is finally over.
Yeah, I'm really been itching for a bonfire, and I think we need to do that this weekend.
Definitely. I just hope we can put our umbrellas away for some time.
Yeah, me too.
Let's send it over to Allison Ritchie with this week's weather.
Evening, Shippensburg. I don't know about you, but I think I'm finally starting to dry off from all the rain this past week. Kudos to all the athletes, cheerleaders, marching band members, and student media crew who were outside in the rain competing, performing, and covering events this week. Today has been mostly cloudy but dry with a high of 67 and a low tonight of 56. On Friday, rain makes its way back for a mostly cloudy day with showers here and there. Over the weekend, Shippensburg will finally experience some sunshine again, so be sure to stop by the field hockey and men's soccer games on Saturday and enjoy the nice weather. As we enter the week ahead, the sun sticks around into Monday and Tuesday before giving way to clouds again on Wednesday. Thursday will come with a touch of morning rain, but we will see a sunny afternoon. With that, stay dry, everyone, and enjoy the nice weather. I'm Allison Ritchie, and up next is Alexander Hagg with this week's entertainment.
Lights, camera, and action may soon return to Tinseltown. Leaders with the Writers Guild of America voted in favor of its members going back to work 1 minute after midnight Wednesday. It's almost time to start rolling the end credits for the long-running soap opera in Hollywood. Almost time. After 148 days of striking on the streets, leaders of the Writers Guild of America unanimously voted in favor of their members getting back to work Wednesday. The tentative contract with the major studios includes pay hikes, stronger benefits, protections against the studio's use of artificial intelligence, guarantees for streaming compensation. But there still may be another chapter or plot twist in this drama. The WGA tentative agreement is, by definition, not yet set in stone. The Screen Actors Guild is still on the picket line. SAG-AFTRA leaders say they are, quote, committed to securing a fair contract. End quote. Usher is set to perform the next Big Games halftime show. In the announcement, the NFL, Apple Music, and Usher's label Rock Nation confirmed Usher will lead the halftime festivities at Allegiant Stadium on February 11th. Usher catapulted to superstardom with his iconic album, Confession, which sold over 10 million copies, earning him 8 Grammy nominations in 2005. Rock Nation founder Jay-Z praised Usher as the ultimate artist and showman, sharing his remarkable journey in the music industry. Fans can watch Usher's big game performance after he wraps up his acclaimed My Way residency in Las Vegas. The Amazon streaming service, Amazon Prime Video, will feature ads in the upcoming year. People are up in arms over Amazon's announcement, but it is not unprecedented as other streaming services like Hulu, Peacock, Max, and Paramount Plus all have ads. Much like these other streaming platforms, Amazon Prime Video will offer an ad-free version for $2.99 a month, in addition to the $8.99 to have the service. This ad-free option will still contain ads for live events such as sports. The media mogul, known for its hit original shows like The Marvelous Miss Maisel and Jack Ryan, set to implement ads in 2024. On Saturday, the BBC dropped the newest trailer for the anticipated return of Doctor Who. Here with the trailer breakdown is SUTV's Adam Beam.
They're back! What? After traveling in the TARDIS all the way back in 2008, David Tennant and Catherine Tate are returning to Doctor Who this November for not just one, but 3 new specials to celebrate the series' 60th anniversary.
If she remembers me, she will die.
The trailer gives fans their best look yet at David Tennant's 14th Doctor and Tate's Donna Noble, as well as some new and returning faces.
Kate Lethbridge Stewart!
Despite some online rumors, Jenna Redgrave will be returning as the director of Unit, and set photos have confirmed that the late Bernard Cribbins will be back as Wilfred Mott, though the trailer only offers brief hints of his return. The most notable of new faces are American actor Neil Patrick Harris, who is now confirmed to be playing the Celestial Toymaker, last seen on television screens tormenting the first Doctor all the way back in 1966. The other new face is sex education star Shui Gawa, who will be taking over the role following the specials, with his first season as the Doctor already wrapping production and set to air sometime this spring, as well as a Christmas special airing this December.
I don't know if I can save your life this time.
There is currently no release date set for the anniversary specials, but Doctor Who fans can expect this November to be absolutely fantastic. For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Adam Beam.
That's it for this week's entertainment. I'm Alexander Haig. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
Up next in sports, the Shippensburg football scores their first win of the season.
Shippensburg football took the field this past Saturday at Seth Grove Stadium during the university's annual Family Day festivities. The Raiders opened conference play against the Huskies in a hard-fought battle in the mix of some tough weather conditions. Redshirt sophomore Tanner Hess, the Raiders' 4th-string tailback entering the season, put the team on his shoulders in his first collegiate start. Despite the messy conditions, Hess amassed a career-high 100 rushing yards as well as the game's only touchdown. True freshman Sam Stoner took over at quarterback for the Raiders during the game. The left-handed signal caller would look impressive in his Raider debut, managing the conditions and the game quite well. The Huskies would get a chance to tie the game late in the 4th, but an eventual 4th down on the Raider 23-yard line would result in a turnover on downs and the Raiders' first win of the season. The Raiders return to action next Saturday with a road contest against the Shepherd Rams. Kickoff is set for 12 p.m. Shippensburg Field Hockey had an action-packed week with lots of action on the field. Shippensburg Field Hockey is riding a 4-game win streak after this week's wins over Bloomsburg and Millersville. Against Bloomsburg, Shippensburg put up 4 goals total, one of which was junior Ashley Button's first collegiate goal. Tess Yedelo and Yasmin Demer also had their share of goals to add to the 4-1 win against Bloomsburg. Tuesday night, the Raiders hosted the Marauders in a defense-heavy competition. The first half had a total of 4 penalty shots and 6 goal attempts between both teams. After a quiet third quarter, Millersville tried tying the game up off a penalty corner, but the shot hit off Albie's foot and ultimately led to a saved penalty stroke. Alexa Mikkelson scored the Raiders' only goal of the night just before the half. The Raiders are in action next Saturday versus Frostburg State at the Raub Sports Complex. Game time is set for 1 p.m. Last night, Shippensburg's women's soccer team fell just short in a tough battle against Millersville. This matchup was foul-heavy, which would ultimately result in the Marauder victory. With only a quarter left in the game, Shippensburg's Nicole Torman was able to score off a corner kick to keep the Raiders in the game. Shippensburg tried using their following 2 corner kicks to tie with Millersville, but neither were able to connect with the goal. The women's soccer team will be traveling to East Stroudsburg on Saturday and then will return to David C. Field to take on Bloomsburg next Wednesday, October 4th. That's it for sports this week. I'm Ben Willey. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When we come back, Airbnb has an all-star offer.
Stay tuned. Whoever said fairy tales can't come true? Airbnb is trying to make one fantasy story very real for people just in time for Halloween. It has recreated Shrek's swamp based on the 2001 animated movie. Ogre fans will find the place very earthy. Shrek's swamp is located in the Scottish Highlands and features a mud-laden, moss-covered, murky-watered abode. Guests can light earwax candles, sit around a fire, and enjoy Donkey's freshly made waffles for breakfast. Interested guests can request a 2-night stay starting October 13th. Up to 3 people will then get to visit the unique home October 27th through October 29th. Guests, though, will be responsible for their own travel to and from Scotland.
Priscilla, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to book my stay at the Shrek Airbnb.
I didn't think I needed that in my life, but turns out I do. That's it for SUTV News. I'm Priscilla Schultz.
And I'm Lindsay Smith. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org.
We'll see you next week. Good night.